These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, January 26th. And we're going to be talking about Jrue Holiday today. Brian Robb of MassLive put out an article, an exclusive interview with Celtics All-Star guard Jrue Holiday, talking about his future in Boston. Obviously, the Celtics traded for Holiday this summer, in case you missed it. In case you're really behind on the news for some reason. They did, in fact, get Jrue Holiday.
In case you live under a rock.
And that's what,
that or
if you live
in a coma.
Yeah, even if you live under a rock, like,
imagine waking up from a coma, like the Celtics sent you into one in Game 7, and you're just now waking up.
Yeah, you woke up, or you fell in a coma after Game 7. You realize Dame is on the Bucks, Jrue is on the Celtics. The Bucks have gone through two different head coaches. Fucking Miami has gotten Terry Rozier. All this stuff's going on. Anyways, Brian Robb asked Jrue Holiday, asked him about his future. He has a player option for the 24-25 season. Jrue Holiday told MassLive, "I'd like to be here. I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable, loving the guys, loving the organization, loving the city." Said, "My last extension was during the course of the year." He explained, "I think that we can do both, talk about it as well as prepare for games and prepare for what the future is." As Jrue Holiday this season, let me just look up his cap numbers. He makes $36.86 million this year, $39.4 next year on a player option. I have to imagine he'll pick that up. I don't think he's going to get another max contract. Like, he's probably close to it, but he feels more like a 30 million, 35 maybe $million player at this point, not a 45 plus.
Correct.
So said, "My last extension during the course of the year." Brian Robb even talked about it. Figuring out exactly what Holiday's value would be on the open market could be tricky for both sides. His scoring numbers have taken a dip, but has primarily been due to his reduced usage. He's been willing to take a back seat, shooting career high from three, all this stuff. Said, "This year I'm doing what the team needs." This is Holiday. "And what my guys need. They need me to be in the spots offensively that I am. I think they know that. They're looking for me and looking out for me." This is fresh off a 7 of 8 night against the Heat. He's been red hot from three lately as well. This is, don't fuck around with the team you have. This is, as Sam says, not my money. This is
not my money. Correct.
And for what it's worth, everything we've heard from Wick Grosbeck, from Brad Stevens, everything and everybody says, like, we are spending money to compete for championships, which is everything you've wanted to hear for the past few years, especially after, and I know this is very minute and doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but like, especially after they made that tax ducking Daniel Tice trade, which in their defense ended up working out for the best because that team wasn't going anywhere and it reset the tax repeater, which is good now. However, it is good to know that with this team that they have right now, they are fully committed to, we are paying, we are going to get our guys here. And Jrue Holiday, for what it's worth, sounds like he wants to be here. So,
yeah, I mean, that's an important part of it. I imagine them, whether or not they win, also a very important part of what this organization wants to pay. Because if they get their championship, I think they're going to be far more willing to be like, yes, yeah, you've earned it. Sick. But we've kind of touched on this in the past, like, especially like over the last week. Like, if they lose, what's going to happen? Because we're all expecting them to win. They have jumped out to the best record in the NBA. They are head and shoulders above the rest in terms of record. If they go into the playoffs and they don't finish the job, there's going to be a lot of questions going into the summer. People are already starting to kind of trickle into the, I don't think Jrue Holiday is the same player category. He's not, because he's taking a like massive cut in shots. He's taking like way less shots per game. No one. He is.
Oh. Sorry. No, you said he's not this player. I thought you were comparing him to somebody else. I missed that.
No, he's not the same player.
Sorry. Yeah, I thought you used another one. Gotcha.
So he's taking far less shots, at least since his rookie year, but he's been far more efficient. Defensively, he's done a great job pairing with Derek White, whether he's the lockdown individual defender he was last year or the year before, has yet to really be seen. I'm not the guy that's going to be the one to tell you one way or another on that one. But the point is, lots of people are kind of pointing at him as the weak link, even though there's not a weak link, but like, they're always like, he could be better. In reality, it's not he could be better. It's he could try and do more and force himself upon the team more, but he's just taking on the role they're asking him to play, and it's working out really well. So if they lose, back to the actual point, people are going to really start asking questions of this team. Is this the group to do it? Now, we've talked about it, and you've said Brown may be the guy who ends up being the odd man out. They're like, we finally have to trade him. It still doesn't sound like Holiday's going to be on the move, but if they win, far easier to give him a new paycheck or a new contract than if they lose.
And for what it's worth, I agree with what you're saying. A lot of people do seem to point to him as the quote unquote weak link, even though I don't think there has been a lot of that this year because there has been the Celtics been good. So there's not going to be much pointing. Too often do people not account for defense when they're having those conversations. Jrue Holiday is arguably the best defender on this team. He is the leader of this defense. He is calling out the plays. He's calling out and telling everybody what to do. Joe Mazzulla has, there's a video that went around of him saying, Jrue, you are the quarterback. You can do whatever you want on defense if you think it benefits this team. He has the complete control over the defense. He has complete freedom to do whatever he thinks is best. He's playing free safety. He's guarding best players. He's playing the zone, the middle and the 2-1-2 zone they like to run. He's doing so many things on defense that don't show up as 13 points, 6 rebounds, 40% from three. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that will not just show up, that'll pop to you. And so I think that's even more important than those things, if anything, because this is a team that needs to win on both ends of the court. And they're doing that this season in large part because of what Holiday's doing on defense. He's talked about, from Brian Robb said, Boston's top 6 players under team control through the 24-25 season. That's something that has helped the team thrive this year in Holiday's eyes. He also sounds like someone who would prefer to be in that group instead of hitting the open market in July. Quote from Holiday, I think everybody kind of knows we're set and we're set for a long period. No matter what happens, you're going to come back here with the same guys for the most part. Things happen, but I think you lock into that, being able to have that comfortability and just kind of that pressure off of you about what's next. Let's stop there. We can talk about it. Yeah, so at least from him, it sounds like he's getting the vibe from the team, from everybody that we got this on lock for at least the next few seasons.
Which is good.
It is good. Also, for what it's worth, Jrue Holiday is 33 years old, so it's not like you have forever with him in this core. So, yeah.
He's been really good, though. He's the type of player that realistically could age into just pretty much doing what he's doing now, but that's all he's able to do. Instead of having that next gear he can go up to if they need him to. We've seen moments this year where he's taken over the second unit. There was the game in Sacramento where Tatum missed it with an ankle injury, and he had to man the bench and did a great job. After De'Aaron Fox came out and killed them in the first quarter, it was him that started the second, got the offense rolling, and put them on the right track for the eventual blowout win. It was not always like that. We've seen plenty of opportunities that he's taken on like that, and it's gone well. I'm happy with Holiday. I'm happy he wants to be here. I'm happy that the vibe from the front office is that they're going to keep this group together. I still think that's half because I just think I think they think they're going to win this. So they're not really worried about what if we lose.
I hope so.
Which is the right mentality.
Yes. I hope they think that. Next thing Jrue talked about with Brian Robb, shout out Brian Robb, thank you for the article, said, I feel great. I think everything's slowed down. This is talking about post-trade and the, new life he's having to build after being traded from Milwaukee. I got comfortable in basketball, comfortable in Boston. My family did too, so it's been good. We spent a little bit of time there. My wife played soccer back in 2010. We've been in Boston for a little bit before, so we've got some friends, so that's been nice.
The NFL season is wrapping up, and there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Now, the app is so easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays, find bets in the new Explore tab, make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
So everything coming out of Jrue Holiday's mouth screams, I would like to be with the Celtics for, I don't want to say the rest of his career, but at this point, it might as well be, right? He wants to be competing for titles with the Celtics, which is exactly what they're doing this year. And as far as an extension goes, it sounds like if the Celtics are willing to pay market value, he'll be in Boston, right? If they're going to pay him what he's worth, which again,
they have no reason not to.
Yeah. But that said, at that point, the rest of the these guys will have to be the driving force because you're just not going to have a lot of money to fill out the rest of the roster. And I think that's why it's important to have guys like Hauser who don't make a ton of money, although he might not be here for very long if he wants a lot of money. It's important to get good value contracts like Peyton Pritchard. It's important to have, get Hayward on those maybe, longer term extensions. I say long term, like 2 years, but you know what I'm saying? Like get him on those extra couple of years.
Holiday, or you said Hayward?
Al Horford. I meant Horford.
Oh.
Get Al Horford on that, couple multi-year extension. Get Drew Peterson in, see if you can find something in him as a G League prospect. Get Jordan Walsh signed as a second-round pick on the second-round exception, which, by the way, you can use every single year. So if the Celtics have, guys they like in the draft, finding those second-round picks who could eventually turn into players will be important moving forward because, realistically, Jaylen Brown got extended, obviously, this summer. He's going to make $49.7 million next year. Porzingis makes $29.2 million next year, which is actually kind of nuts value for Porzingis now that I'm reading that number out loud.
It really is. That's what always comes into my mind when we talk about other teams' contracts. Even though in the grand scheme of the salary cap, a Jeremy Grant for around Porzingis money isn't bad. But then you have Porzingis, and you're like, there's no player I'd rather spend this money on for this value.
Yeah, he's perfect. He's perfect for this team.
And he signed an extension at that number.
Yeah, 29 then 30. But you're gonna have Jalen making near 50, Kristaps making near 30, Tatum making 35 next year, and then he's gonna be making
gonna make Jalen money.
50. He's gonna make more than Jalen money. Then you're gonna have to re-sign Derek White for probably like 30 mil, 25, 30 mil. Then you're gonna have to re-sign Jrue Holiday for, if I had to guess now, I'm guessing Jrue Holiday will probably be either. This is complete speculation, by the way. Don't take this as actual me reporting or guessing or anything. 2 years, 60 million, or 3 years, 60, 70 million, something like that. Something 20 to 30 million. If it's 2 years, be closer to 30 million a season. If it's 3 years, closer to 25 million a season. That's probably what you'll see for him. It's probably around, or this is going to sound bad because what we know now, around what Kyle Lowry got with Miami, except probably with the safety blanket of knowing that he's a better player than Kyle Lowry was at that point.
Free guy.
You can find somebody. Exactly. But this is going to be a very expensive team, and it's going to make having Pritchard on the books through 27, 28 for, up max 8.3 million important. Having a guy like Cornette who as crazy as it sounds, you could probably pay a little bit over the minimum into one of those exceptions just to keep him around for longer than 2 years, because he is proving to be a very valuable rotation piece that will be even more valuable once Al Horford ends up retiring, which is very sad to think about, but will inevitably happen eventually. It's important to find these guys on good contracts, and even guys they filled out the bench with this year, O'Shea Brissett, C. Mikhailo, Lamar Stevens still on a bit, and if one of those guys pops for you and you like him, sign him to a multi-year, little bit of money into one of these exceptions. If O'Shea Brissett, you really like him at the end of the year, if he declines his player option, sign him to a 3-year contract into one of these exceptions for a little bit over the minimum. Give him a little bit of bump that he might not get somewhere else to keep him around. So Jrue Holiday wants to be around, and I think the Celtics are going to have to get very smart with their money, but you keep Jrue Holiday. Yeah, at the end of the day, not my money. You keep Jrue Holiday, you keep this core, and it sounds like he and the rest of the guys in that top 5-6 are confident that they'll be able to play together for the next few seasons.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, by trying to cheap out on Jrue Holiday, you're not able to spend that money somewhere else.
Yes.
These are the guys you have, which is what we've kind of said so far. But these are the guys you have. You can't turn around and be well, if we let him walk, we can spend that money somewhere else. You cannot. It's the same thing as Grant Williams, where Grant Williams walked away and it was a sign and trade and they kind of got something back, but they got nothing back because this is the TPE and they're not going to use it, or probably won't use it. What do I know? But it's not much. You're going to have a very similar situation with Jrue Holiday if you let him walk. You're not going to really be able to fill the void. They didn't do anything with the Grant money. And you're kind of looking at this weird spot where it's if he was still on a team that's at least a trade slot, you could use it on. But that money is up into thin air. That's the point. If you let him walk, money's gone. Can't do anything with it. No point in letting him walk for nothing.
Yes, definitely. Well, the Celtics, Sam, they did get some useless second-round picks. So let's be honest here. They did get.
Couldn't care less.
But Actually, one of the second round picks wasn't as useless as I thought it was. Anyways, as much as you also hate those second round picks do turn into let's flip guys, move up in the draft. If anything, they could like
Well, they
turn
need him.
into yeah.
They need
I
him
was gonna
now to
say
build out the rest of the roster. You can kind of like search for diamonds in the rough, and if you find one, then you sign them to a deal that's team friendly because you're giving them a chance.
Or
and if they
even
produce, like a Sam Hauser type.
yeah, or even package multiple of them together for a first round pick who will be under contract for 4 seasons no matter what. Like there are avenues where those are useful, but regardless, the point of the video is Jrue Holiday. Sounds like he wants to be in Boston. Sounds like the plan is to keep this core around for the next 4 years. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let us know what you think of the Jrue Holiday news, quotes, whatever it was. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. I'll let Sam take it out.
Yes, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. We have videos like these, little rumor breakdowns. We have the full-length pods, game recaps, talking C's with Bobby Kravitsky, film breakdowns. Also, a half hour before every game, we're here live for a pregame stream. Those are a lot of fun. Come hang out. If you want to find us on streaming platforms, you can do so. If you follow us there, you'll get the audio versions of the pods and the game recaps right to your inbox every day. Leave a 5-star review. Say something nice about the show, please. We'd appreciate it. You can also reach out to us via email, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Each full-length pod we go through, we read your emails, and we give you a little bit of feedback. We love to hear from you, so definitely email us. You can also find us on socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can find our pregame streams there and on YouTube and on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at Jack's Money NBA. Mine is Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.